He doesn't always scream for attention. He doesn't dance in the spotlight. He doesn't chase controversy. But Pete Dunne commands respect, whether it's in the back corridors of the WWE locker room or between the ropes where legacies are made and forgotten. Dunne is the kind of performer who earns his keep not with noise but with nuance. Not with gimmicks, but with grit. Not with catchphrases, but with combat. And that's exactly why he fits the mold for something greater. Something darker. Something deadly. Imagine this: the lights dim. A shadow descends. And from that shadow steps the Undertaker, a legend among legends, raising a hand not to the sky, but toward the future. Toward Pete Dunne. Yes, behind the scenes, Pete Dunne is already known as a consummate professional. Reliable. Studious. Tough. But in front of the camera, he's a bruiserweight. A technician. A man who can make the mat his canvas, and turn every match into a portrait of pain. And yet, despite all this, he's flown under the radar. The spotlight flirts with him but rarely stays. That's where the Undertaker's blessing becomes a game changer. Imagine Dunne, not just as another workhorse, but as a chosen disciple in the Deadman's final doctrine. A member of Taker's hand-picked faction, a mythical, ruthless collective of enforcers who don't beg for respect. They take it. Because the Undertaker doesn't endorse lightly. When he speaks, the industry listens. And if he were to put his legacy behind Pete Dunne, the WWE universe would be forced to take notice. But Dunne is not alone in this quiet revolution. Enter Tyler Bate, his tag team partner in New Catch Republic. Another technician. Another traditionalist. Another artist of the old school style. Together, they bring finesse. Together, they bring balance. But together, with the Undertaker behind them, they could bring fear. Of course, to step into the Undertaker's shadow is to embrace change. The presentation would evolve. Gone would be the sunshine hues of NXT Europe, the clean-cut aesthetics. In their place, mystique. Grit. Darkness. Perhaps black leather. Perhaps ominous lighting. Perhaps silence before slaughter. Dunne doesn't need to speak much, his fists do the storytelling. But with Taker backing him, every step, every strike, every stare would carry the weight of prophecy. Fans would whisper again, is this the next evolution of the ministry? Is this the era of purge overplay? Is Pete Dunne the one we all slept on, and he's finally awakened? That's what the Undertaker's spotlight does. It doesn't just illuminate, it transforms. It did it for Edge. For Orton. For Reigns. And it could do it for Dunne. In this new era of wrestling where noise often overrides nuance, Pete Dunne is a throwback, a man of action, not advertisement. But in the Undertaker's orbit, he could become something bigger. A general of a new era. A menace draped in legacy. A modern-day executioner walking calmly into chaos. And Tyler Bate. His presence wouldn't just be appreciated, it would be strategic. The muscle and the mind, working in tandem, under a legacy forged in fire. Together, they'd be more than a tag team. They'd be an ideology. And the fans, they'd finally see Pete Dunne not just as a solid hand, but as a force. A danger. A future champion who doesn't ask for permission, he takes what's his, limb by limb. Because sometimes the quiet ones are the most dangerous. And when the Deadman taps you on the shoulder, you don't just rise. You resurrect. So let the others chase the clout. Let them post, scream, and tweet. Pete Dunne walks in silence. But with the Undertaker behind him, his silence would speak volumes. And his fists, they would preach.